Wait, let me hit record first. All right, recording. Woo! Let there be. As I'm changing the music, let there be light. Are you guys ready? Whoa, I got a headache, man. I had a really long day today. I have a headache and I'm screaming. I'm way too excited. I haven't even read the you know, we'll do the author notes over the weekend. Have you been reading the announcements in the D&D? No. All right, where were we? Back to reading greatness. Okay, I'm hyping myself way too much. I'm getting a headache. The fucking title drops. We got way too, dude. There was way too much information last stream. There was just like it was a little too much. It was a little overwhelming, but 80 is fine. Love starts at 81. Okay, well let's see how far we get in 2 hours. All right, you guys ready? Chapter 1273 is called The Poor. Oh shit, we're going off right here. Praise the door. Oh shit, The Poor Roads. R.I.P. Or you know what? Will I cry if Arrodes die? Probably. I probably would cry. All right, hopefully that doesn't happen. Knock on wood. All right, new chapter. I apologize. You know what? It's okay. If you guys got to protest me stalling the author notes, that's okay. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I will do the author notes this weekend. I am sorry for the protesting. Yeah, nobody cares. No, I care about the author notes. I love reading it. And also he hints at the next volumes. All right, but I'll read that over the weekend. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. We put the author notes in the back burner. No, it's all right. We're going to read it. We're going to read it. Chapter 1273 is called The Poor Arrodes. All right, what's going to happen? Klein didn't visit Benson and Melissa. Whoa, what? Because the matters he was involved in were at a too high a level. Approaching his siblings would only bring them disaster. For existences who didn't know Klein's original identity, such acts would help them understand the relationship between Benson, Melissa, and Klein. To know of Klein's past experiences, this would make them confirm one thing. Klein still maintained his humanity and was still very concerned about his family. Oh, that sounds bad. If a bad guy if Amon finds out about that, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, bro. It's gonna be Melissa all over again, right? That was her name? Wait, no, Melissa? Yeah. When Amon got her whole family, dude. Therefore, staying away from Benson and Melissa was the best form of protection he could give them. Of course, Klein had already grasped the situation of his siblings through misjustice. During the war, Benson had displayed his experience and ability at the Ministry of Finance. He received many promotions and had to become the deputy director of the 5th Department, and his annual salary reached 300 pounds. Oh, good for him, man. Oh, Hazel. Why did I say Melissa? Yeah, Hazel. It literally brings it up right here. Melissa. Yeah, look. All right, here you go, Melissa. Melissa won the favor of her mentor, Portland Moment, and was given a chance to become a Beyonder. The chancellor of the Backlund University of Technology was a believer of the god of steam and machinery, so he had long become a Beyonder. He was currently at Sequence 7 Appraiser. He wished for Melissa to become a Sequence 9 Savant, so that she could be better absorbed with the knowledge and improve her memory. This established a good foundation for her in the subsequent developments in the mechanical domain. This was Melissa's secret, but she wasn't able to hide from a spectator at the demigod level. Besides, Audrey definitely informed Klein that Melissa was more inclined to agree and would be making a decision in the next few days. Klein's attitude towards this matter was a tacit acquaintance. Acquiescence? What are these words? Tacit acquiescence? Melissa losing control now. Great. On the other hand, the spiritual perception enhancement one gained from the Savin pathway advancement. Oh, am I saying it wrong? No, I'm not saying it wrong. Oh, it's Savant. Shut up.
On the one hand, the spiritual perception enhancement one gained from the Savant path.
Don't fucking wait, Savant. It's not Savant. Savant. Savin Pathway's advancement was rather limited. Melissa would really hear or see what she shouldn't. On the other hand, with the impending apocalypse, the madness caused by the low sequences potions would be further decreased. Furthermore, there was also him, a miracle invoker, to help lower the risk of her losing control. For an avid fan of machinery, Sequence 9 Savant is enough. Moments shared the same attitude. He doesn't wish for me to be a believer of the Evernight to obtain too many potions from the church of steam. Yes, the apocalypse is approaching and the invisible barrier is weakening. The intrusion of this world by the outer deities will become more and more obvious. The chances of ordinary people encountering Beyonders incidents will definitely gradually increase. From this point of view, it's also a good thing for Melissa to become a Beyonder. If she can successfully advance the Sequence 6 artisan, or I'm sorry, she's gonna be a Beyonder? Or a machinery specialist, and she can fulfill her dreams and protect herself and Benson. I get mistrusted. This has to be something that happens in book 2. Ain't no way this happens in this book 1. It's like book 2 stuff. I'll get Miss Justice to find an opportunity to disclose the acting method to Melissa in a discreet manner. The extent of her future growth will depend on her. At the most, I can give her some good luck. Formulas and ingredients. I'm really like an older brother who can't rest easy. Oh man, you're reading words without understanding again? No, hold up. I'm like, what up? Is she not gonna be a Beyonder? Is not? No. That's not what I'm. No, sorry. I'm thinking out loud. No, I'm thinking out loud. No. I'm thinking out loud. I'm like, there's no. I mean, as like, there's no way this is gonna happen now. Like, if she were to reach like Sequence 6 and so on, that's gonna be like book 2 stuff. Cause ain't no way she's gonna be able to advance that quickly. Easy have 100% understanding beyond even ours. Guys, I'm like at 110% every time, okay? Don't worry, just give it 2 more minutes. Give it 2 more minutes. Does this count as granting a wish in a certain sense? No protesting. Put the billboards down. No, what's it called? Put the billboards down. No protesting, damn it. And that's my place. Oh my god. Forget it. This will bring her and Vincent a devastating disaster. Klein shook his head and stopped himself from making an excuse. He then pressed down his top hat and turned towards a hotel by the streets. He took out a gold pound and got a room. The gold pound was real. It was an item that Klein had brought back to the real world some time ago. In the previous war, Klein had donated 14,000 injured pounds in cash, 14,200 pounds worth of gold bars, and nearly 20 high-quality gems through Miss Justice. Apart from all the strange items left in the junk pile, he only had 39 low-end gold coins and 10 high-quality gems left. That's it. Glancing at the hotel owners returning to change in solely in pennies, Klein put them away and entered the room before walking to the full-length mirror. Right on the heels of that, he took out a pen and paper and drew the incantation that summoned Arrodes. Seconds and minutes passed, but nothing abnormal happened. The full-body mirror remained silent. A few seconds later, Klein chuckled and raised his eyebrows. He took out a gold coin from his pocket. Chug, chug, chug. Yeah. It's Watchmen. Watchmen, The Odyssey, and then I think that's like a philosophy book. A steam locomotive that was spewing thick smog tore across the rail heading west to the continent. The disheveled, eye-concerned machinery hive mind member stood in a particular carriage as they focused on the metal cage in front of them. The metal spikes above the cage extended outwards in all kinds of menacing ways. Coruscating with a dim light, the machinery hive mind members, who had the look of a typical Lowness citizen, looked out the window at the planes rapidly sweeping past them. He couldn't help but ask, Decon, are you planning on returning to Lowen after reaching Entis? After the war ended, the Church of Steam, who had taken the wrong side, had no choice but to bear the consequences and its actions. They had to transfer all the Beyonders above that of demigods and sealed artifacts above Grade 2 out of Lowen within a time period set by the 2 churches of the Evernight and the Storm. In other words, they had lost their original status. In the future, they could only maintain a small number of cathedrals, just like the Church of Earth Mother in Lowen. If it weren't for the fact that there were too many people who believed in the god of steam and machinery, and some of them being key figures in the reconstruction efforts after the war, the Church of Steam might not have been able to retain such treatment. Similarly, a smaller number of cathedrals only required a small number of machinery hive mind members. Most of the Beyonders in Lowen had to migrate to Entis. Iconsir fell silent for a few seconds before smiling bitterly. I have to heed the Archbishop's arrangements, but I will take the initiative to request a return to Lowen. That's where my childhood, teenage, and young adult life was. There are too many memories that I can't forget. You can check a new song playlist now if you want. It's from a game. We will. If you guys have any game recommendations, let me know. We'll look them up. That way we can play some at the end of the stream. As he spoke, his gaze grew distant, and he seemed to see the capital of capitals. At this moment, the mental cage that was overgrown with spikes suddenly trembled. Silver boats of lightning appeared out of nowhere and landed on one after another. They were all absorbed by the metal cage, and through a few wire wraps into rubber, the current flowed to the ground out of the steam locomotive, dragging out a line of sparks. Bang, bang, bang. The metal cages seemed to be hit by an invisible hand, but it was unable to break the barrier. The magic mirror's reaction is very intense. It's always been very quiet in the past. The machinery hive mind members who had been asking was rather puzzled. Amidst the banging, I can still... Wait, what? Wait, what's happening? What's happening to Rhodes? Amidst the banging, I can subconsciously touch his hair. That's not the case. It will sometimes show its crazy side. If it wasn't for what had happened, we would have still been treated as a grade 2 sealed artifact. Is that so? Huh, I have come into contact with it before, so it might just be me, but it feels to me that the magic mirror doesn't want to leave Backland. The machinery hive minds member teased with a smile. Pop. Lightning struck and was absorbed by the metal cage. Bang, bang, bang. Oh. The sliming sounds dragged out slowly as though it was making its last helpless cry. Oh, no. I'm sorry, dude. We gotta save him, dude. Eigenser took out an old and exquisite pocket watch and opened it. It's only lasted 2 minutes. It's much better than in the morning. Just as the member of the machinery hive man who had just been transferred over was about to ask, he suddenly heard the slamming sound stop abruptly. It was as though it had been affected by some factor that it couldn't put up a resistance to. This is the style of the magic mirror, he asked. Ikenzer frowned slightly and said no. Normally speaking, wouldn't have the strength to last 20 to 30 seconds. Something's wrong. Decon, don't worry. This is the powerful figure on board of the train. One who outranks the archbishops. Who? The machinery hive mind members beside him consulted him indefinitely. Dude, no shot. The client has to break him out. There were too many dangerous sealed artifacts on the steam locomotive. Without a powerful figure watching them, there would definitely be problems. Ikenser nodded, indicating that he wasn't worried. Klein was sitting in a conjured carriage. Oh shit, here we go. He's gonna break him out? I'm sorry, we're gonna break out Arrodes? Klein was sitting in a conjured carriage in a hamlet's path more than 10 kilometers away from the steam locomotive. In front of him was a mirror. Just as he finished outlining the symbol that was a mixture of concealment and mystery prying, a wave of light suffused the mirror as golden luminous text appeared. Exalted great master, you're finally here. Your puny, loyal, and poor servant Rhodes misses you. Oh shit, dude, here we go. Huh? Save our bar Rhodes? Dude, we're gonna break him out right now. Klein couldn't accept the enthusiasm behind his line as he shanked back into scrambly. If Arrodes' previous attempts to curry favor still maintained a hint of dignity, it was now complete fawning over him. Klein could even detect a hint of crying. The frequency of amorous news popping up in a trier is far higher than in Backland. It should be a place that you're fond of. Klein teased Arrodes with a smile. That's because you don't wish to go to Trier. The golden words on the surface of the mirror faded their colors, turning to a faint silver. Klein secretly clicked his tongue. By the way, unknown, thank you, man. I have something to ask you. Please ask, Arrodes replied humbly. Do you know who Earth Mother is? Klein went straight to the point. The mirror instantly turned dark as the faint silver words turned palish white. I don't know, but during the War of the Gods, I heard a voice coming from deep within the tenebrous heaven. He shouted a name. That's the true name of the Sanguine ancestor. What, Lilith? The magic mirror didn't dare to directly present Lilith's name. Lilith. It's actually Lilith. Klein was surprised. Wait. Klein was surprised, but he also felt that this answered many of his questions. Then he thought of the moon Emlyn. The vampire kept going in circles, imagining all kinds of developments, only to have never changed his faith. If Emlyn had Anderson's personality, he would definitely say that the Sanguine's Grand Duke and Marquise, hey, are you also coming to believe in the Mother Goddess? As Klein imagined the funny scene, he said to Rhodes, it's your turn to ask. Arose? Did I say it wrong? I'm so sorry. Supreme Master, please continue asking. I'll ask it at once towards the end. The palish white words regained their faint silver luster. Klein thought for a moment before saying, how's the situation like now? For example, the situation in Phase 6. Free, those cost the most. Chapter 1274 is called The Stabilization of the Situation. Bet your headache says it feels achy, so it stops aching now. Yes. Classic easy. I always laugh, damn it. I laugh when I don't know shit and when I do know shit and when I cry. Point is, I always laugh. Chapter 1274 is called The Stabilization of the Situation. What can I say? I'm a happy guy when I'm reading this, even though I get confused. On the surface of the mirror, silver words surface one by one amidst the aqueous light. Adapt. Beyond from the Church of the God of Combat and the Phasic military who are willing to pledge their loyalty, only the extremely pious, faithful, and those willing to... Oh no, we disconnected. This is both the benevolence and the passion of the goddess, as well as the necessary measures to deal with the subsequent situation. With the apocalypse approaching, the number of Beyonders incidents will inevitably increase all across the world. To maintain the stability of the world, we have to do our best to increase our strength as quickly as possible. If we were to call the Beyonders of the Church of the God of Combat and the Phasic military, obtaining their corresponding characteristics, that still doesn't aid us in nurturing a Beyonder of the same level within a few years. A Beyonder with rich experiences, be it in their digesting the potion or accumulating knowledge, requires a sufficient amount of time. Upon seeing this, Klein mumbled inwardly. He felt that this wasn't the usual tone of Arrodes. It was more like an official document. It's showing documents of unknown origins that it peeped at. Oh, let me put the volume all the way up. By using words like digesting, it means that both the writer and the reader have mastered the acting method. It's showing documents of unknown origins that it peeped at. By using words like digesting, it means that both the writer and the reader... Sorry, I have to read this again. Readers have mastered the acting method, and from the tone of the document, it's from the Church of the Evernight. Based on these 2 points, it's not difficult to tell that these documents are for the eyes of the archbishops and the high-ranking decans. The author should be the apostolic see from the Cathedral of Serenity. Arrodes' secret prying abilities are very impressive. Klein nodded indiscriminately as she waited for the contents in the mirror to flip the page. The silver words vanished one after another, quickly forming new sentences and paragraphs. There's no need to spread the fact that the goddess has replaced the god of combat to ordinary nobles and citizens of Phasic. This allows them to retain their faiths of the god of combat. On the other hand, it's beneficial for us and the priests, bishops, and the various major cathedrals who have surrendered to us. It'll stabilize the situation in Phasic in the quickest way possible. On the other hand, it also prevents the goddess from being disturbed by the unresolvable problem of faith before. She completely gains control of the god of combat's authority. An update will be disseminated after new revelation is given. Now we only draw the corresponding draft. Try not to indicate the strong resistance of Phasic and the other countries. We've lost too many Beyonders and soldiers, and we have expended a large amount of resources and items, be it the church, the countries, or other people of different classes. We are all very weak. We need some time of peace and stability to recover. We should work with the Church of the Storms, the Church of Knowledge, the Church of Earth Mother, countries like Fenapotter or Lindbergh. We will force Intis and Phasic to make an unconditional surrender. We will attain what we hope for at a negotiable table. During this process, we can use the purging of the stubborn old-fashioned faithful to exert pressure on them. When dealing with the domestic situation and the filling of the void left behind by the Church of Steam, the Church Storm should be given enough respect. We can even make concessions on certain matters. This is the will of the goddess. Finally, from this moment forth, the number of times the crimson moon that appears in the sermons, it's like mass, church, sermons, preachings, rituals, and masses should be reduced. In official canon, the goddess's title of Lady of Crimson shall no longer be mentioned. Whoa, what? Lady of Crimson shall no longer be mentioned. Klein's brows twitched as he felt a strong sense of confusion towards the last sentence. Soon he thought of the sanguine ancestor, the ancient god of the Second Epoch, and to present Earth Mother Lilith, who was once a sequence zero of the moon pathway. She was true... Wait. Oh, because she's the true Lady of Crimson. Oh, okay. Soon he thought of the sanguine ancestor, the ancient god of the Second Epoch, and the present Earth Mother Lilith, who was once a sequence zero of the moon pathway. She was a true Lady of Crimson. In a moment of enlightenment, he vaguely understood that this might be an exchange under the table. It was a necessary price. Oh. She gave... Oh, shit. Wait. Not only metaphorically, she did physically hand the moon to her. I remember that Evernight threw Lilith, well, she didn't throw it, but like Lilith actually like physically gave her the moon she was holding in her clan at the end of volume 6. Professor, but like easy Audrey cosplay and author notes. Oh no, it will happen. Yes, it's gonna happen. It was a necessary price. Yes, the goddess's attitude is very clear. This is to stabilize the situation as quickly as possible before she truly controls the authority of death. Oh, and that of the god of combat and become a great old one. She undoubtedly doesn't wish for any more orthodox deities to perish. If that happens, the invisible barrier left behind by the primordial one will have no one to mend it. This will allow the outer deities to find an opportunity to bring the apocalypse forward. Also, that's hype as fuck. Also, based on Lowen's present situation, if we continue the war, the anchors will waver even more. It might lead to awakening of the primordial one and the goddess. Dude, it's like, I've reached a point in reading this where it's like, I can't even, like, think how the series ends, dude. I thought this would have ended like with the war, but no, the war ended at volume 6. So now I'm over here thinking, what the fuck is next? The moon is the uniqueness of the moon pathway if you didn't get it. What? Wait, I can't think. Wait, no, I didn't know that. The moon is alive? Wait, when the fuck was this brought up? Wait, what? The moon was a uniqueness? Bro, I didn't see that message. Wait. The actual crimson moon, that was like the actual uniqueness? Did she just hand it off? Is that what that was? Is that what we switched? The goddess took a huge risk. Wow, the music is way too loud. The goddess took a huge risk of having the front line retreat all the way to backland. She had to divert more strength to suppress the primordial one. If Earth Mother betrayed her, she might have perished even faster than the god of combat. She has other trump cards. The losses of the Church of the Evernight Goddess and the Church of the Storm suffered seems quite significant. It is no wonder that after the Resistance announced that they would retain the corresponding cathedrals and respect the Storm religion, that bunch of irresistible fellows didn't attempt to retract, and they silently agreed to establish one of the new government. Klein mumbled to himself as he had a rough idea of the current situation. He asked a third question. If the Evernight Goddess wants to advance further, does she need to find the River of Eternal Darkness? This was one of the 9 Sephiroths. Klein... The River of the Eternal Darkness. I forgot that's one of the 9. This was one of the 9 Sephiroths. Klein remembered Arrodes mentioning it once, saying that this river was related to the ancient death, the Phoenix ancestor Gregorans. The clues seemed to be hidden deep in Spur World's Cauldron City. Yes, Great Masters, the silverware's twisted and distorted, forming new text. The death at the end of the 4th epoch should have been able to use the River of Eternal Darkness. He attempted to use this Sephira to forcefully accommodate the uniquenesses of non-negotiating pathways. Then he went mad, so that was how death went mad back then. I knew it. A Sequence Zero true god, one who has lived for more than 3 epochs and has seen the blasphemy slates would lack common sense and randomly drink potions. Just randomly drink some. It's not like he is at least a tutor, having reached a point of only having the options of madness or death. It's no wonder Death challenged the fractured 7 deities with just a primordial demoness. Back then, he was equivalent to half... Oh, you can be that? Half a great old one? Well, I mean, yeah, if you can be born with half a Sequence 9, yeah, I guess it makes sense that you can be half a great old one. Yes, Mr. Zik had a golden phoenix accessory that came from death. Klein strung up certain matters. Suddenly, he inwardly let out an explanation. He suspected that the price of so many bestowments was the River of Eternal Darkness, just like how the true creator had reportedly tolerated him so as to force him into the Giant King's residence to obtain the first blasphemy slate. As the owner of Sephira Castle, he was probably the only relatively high Sequence Beyonder who could resist the corruption of the other Sephiroths. Of course, the Evernight Goddess could also wait up to a decade or so. After the primordial ones will fade further, she could personally retrieve it. However, this way, Klein wasn't sure if she could complete the ritual before the apocalypse happened. Well, the apocalypse is in 20 to 30 years? Wouldn't she have time? He composed himself and raised the 4th question. When can I get the potion formula for the Attendant of the Mysteries? Fucking give it to me, bitch. Give it to me. Where can I get the potion formula for the Attendant of Mysteries? Arrodes made the silver words resemble into a brand new content. Zaratul first blasphemy slates. Oh shit, Amon. Amon has the first blasphemy slate. So Zaratul, the first blasphemy slate, the second blasphemy slate, the card of blasphemy. I assume the full card. Oh, the full uniqueness that has become a mythical creature. Wait, hold up. Quick recap. 16, 18 years if I remember correctly. Oh, at the start of the series it was 20 years, but since it's been a while, okay, now it's 16, 18. Wait, just to cover ground rules. The full uniqueness that became a mythical creature has not been revealed directly. Yeah, just one stream for today. The first choice and the second choice might be plotting against me. Zaratul is even more terrifying and cunning than the Dark Demonic Wolf. If I were to plot against him, there is a high chance of me failing into his trap. The danger is extremely high. The third choice is Amon's brother, Adam. Adam? Get the fuck out of here. The third choice is Amon's brother. Oh, hell fucking no, man. He should have used this word to become a visionary. If I were to provoke him, Sephira Castle might not be able to save me. The 4th and 5th options are related to the half-fool of the Antigonus family. It's, oh shit, you're right. Antigonus. Oh shit, I forgot. Antigonus is the actual, he was referred to as the half fool. It's related to the goddesses. Whoa, wait. Oh my god, it's been so long. It's been a while. Hold up. Wait. The fourth and fifth options are related to the half fool of the Antigonus family. It's related to the goddesses' foggy town. The goddesses should have a way to circle around the half fool and extract the card of blasphemy. Perhaps I'll need to use a river of eternal darkness to exchange for it. Klein realized that he had reached a dead end. The Antigonus ancestor tweaking in Foggy Town. Point is, he was tweaking. Yeah. The path of ahead was the river of the eternal darkness, and behind him was the leader of the secret order Zaratul. Unfortunately, if I can find the dark demonic wolf, I can try to negotiate with him. He should have seen the first blasphemy slate and grasped the potion formula for the attendant of mysteries. Sigh. He will flee far away once he smells me. Klein thought for a moment and said to Arrodes, fifth question, what did you mean when you said you saw a pillar and support for me? The aqueous light in the mirror swirled slightly as a deepness became more obvious. The corresponding silver text seemed to turn a little wider. Great Master, this is a feeling that I can't describe using words. However, I've experienced similar feelings in another existence before. Apart from him, only you possess it. The existence is the ancient sun god. The ancient sun god. Klein nodded and thought, all right, it's your turn to ask. No explanation? Wait. Okay, yeah, no explanations. Wait, don't explain. On the sorry, sometimes we do ask questions out loud. Wait. My bad. I don't know if that's something I ask or that's something you guys were telling me. On the surface of the mirror, the words of the silver screen suddenly turned golden. Supreme Master, do you think you can take away your local and hope? I'm sorry, is he trying to elope with his great master? His Supreme Master? What? Supreme Master, do you think you can take away your loyal and humble servant Arrodes? Supreme Master, do you think you can take away your loyal and humble servant Arrodes? This question appeared 5 times in a row, completely covering the surface of the mirror. Having become an angel, Klein no longer feared Arrodes. After thinking for a few seconds, he smiled and said, let me talk to that angel. This is basic courtesy. Elope? Like, is he trying to elope with the Supreme Master? With a boom, illusory beams of different colors spewed out from the mirror and exploded into fireworks into the carriage. Almost at the same time, 2 dark rays of light reached out from the edge of the mirror. 2 arms that appeared surreal grew out. The 2 arms originally wanted to reach out to Klein's calf, but they silently shrank back and gently swayed at the spot. Praise the Supreme Master. After the fireworks fell, a golden massage. A golden message appeared in the mirror. I'm gonna lower the volume a bit. In the middle of the section of the steam locomotive in a simple room, a tall and handsome young man with long chestnut hair sat on a hardwood chair. Facing the triangular sacred emblem, he clasped his hands and closed his eyes and sincerely prayed. On the side of a narrow table with a mannequin made of metal components, behind the mannequin was a faint meshed glow. Suddenly, the young man opened his eyes and looked towards the other side. Someone had appeared there. And in the young man's blue eyes, the figure only looked like a person. In essence, it was an invisible vortex wearing a silk top hat and a black trench coat. Oh, shit. Were you here to free him? Wait, chestnut hair? Chestnut hair, yeah. Chestnut hair. That's Klein. Klein has brown hair. That's chestnutty. Inside the vortex, there was transparent and distorted maggots squirming about in the cluster. German Sparrow, the young man, calmly read out a name. All the items around him floated up, but there was no wind in the room. Klein pressed his top hat and revealed his human face. How may I address you? New persona? The young man nodded slightly and said, Bornovo Gustav. Wait, no. Wait. Klein got chestnut hair? Wait, German Sparrow, the young man calmly read out. So, Klein said this. Who the fuck is Gustav? Bornova Gustav? Gustav Roselle? Easy cannot. No. Who is this? Hold up. This is his great grandson? Bornova? Who is Gustav? I know Roselle Gustav. But like, is Bornova like a descendant of Gustav? Bro, turn on your brain. I don't know. I don't remember who's Bornova. That's the only thing. I don't remember who's Bornova. Clearly we know Gustav Fring. Easy just be saying anything at this point. What do you mean? Man, you guys are really protesting today, huh? Hey man, I love you guys. Hey, I love you guys. We don't know yet. Okay, thank you. We don't know yet. His second son, the steam church used to threaten him and why he rebelled against it. Dude, it's been so long. We do know. Dude, when was this revealed? There's no shot. This was revealed like a long time ago. No shot. That was not revealed recently. This was revealed like a long time ago. I don't remember him. I remember he had kids. He had like 4 kids. Oh. All right. See, that was like... Bro, what? Come on. That was like 1,000 chapters ago. And I haven't been updating my notes. Oh, okay. Wow, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a cool minute. I got it right here. I'm gonna go to Gustav's time. Let me go all my character names from volume 3 up until volume 3. Roselle. Barnova, 3rd child, 2nd son. I do remember him now. You see? I referenced my notes and now I remember. I remember now. Look at that. This was written in volume 3. Look at that. Okay, look at that. It came back to me. Damn, man. I have not looked at my notes in so long, man. It's been a cool minute, dude. That's crazy. That's wild. All right, you guys ready? Next chapter. 1,200 and what? 75? Damn, that's far. Chapter 1,275. After we have referenced our notes, and you guys have helped me out, now we remember him. Barnova Gustav, Klein's gaze swept across the young man's face, landing on the floating items in the mannequin made from the metallic components. The mannequins have a post-modern style. Some of the physical laws here seem to have changed a little. Klein nodded and thought, I want to take the mirror. He very honestly stated his request. Barnova's expression didn't change, as though he was just a puppet. You're a bless of Evernight. I guess so. Klein said with a smile. Barnova nodded, then take it away. Oh shit, take it away? He's of the impression that I'm asking for the spoils of war for the Church of the Evernight. Klein didn't explain as he politely took off his hat and bowed slightly. Thank you very much. Oh, I thought he meant that as like, then take it away as in you have to fight me over it. Never mind. As he spoke, Klein's figure suddenly faded and vanished. He had only come in the form of a historical void projection. Following that, in a carriage where icons are in the machinery hive mind members were, nothing happened. Of course, they were only situated in a historical scene, and the actual situation in the car had been covered up without their knowledge. On a carriage more than 10 kilometers away, a mirror suddenly appeared in Klein's hand. I'm sorry, we're walking around with a Rhodes now. That just clicked. It was silver in color, and the patterns on its back were ancient and mysterious. On both sides was an eye-like ornament. Don't speak. Klein looked into the mirror and gave you simple instruction. Yes, Supreme Master. Silverware surfaced from the depths of the mirror. Klein immediately took out a pen and paper and used the magic mirror as a backing to write. He thought for a moment and wrote with a faint smile, Dear Mr. Zik, it seems like I haven't written to you for so long, and I went to the forsaken lands of gods and have a wonderful journey. Dear Mr. Zik, am I recording? Yes. It seems I haven't written to you for a long time, and I went to the forsaken lands of the gods and have had a wonderful journey. There are only 2 types of living creatures there. There are either living sentient creatures or monsters. Those sentient beings either bear a curse or have obvious physical mutations. They're even more tragic than I imagined. I tried helping them. This wasn't only for the ritual, for my anchors, or to satisfy my sympathetic heart. It holds meaning on its own. Putting inside the suffering, the situation, forsaken lands of the gods is completely different from the outside world. It's like an oil painting with a black theme. What's surprising is that the artificial death can influence the undying creature there. I was very confused back then, but today I finally had a guess. I suspect that this is related to the River of Eternal Darkness, one of the 9 Sephiroths. This reminds me of the Cauldron City in the spirit world. I'm reminded of the Golden Phoenix ancestry you mentioned before. Rumor has it that the Phoenix ancestor, Death of the 4th Epoch, could have used the River of the Eternal Darkness to a certain extent. I wonder if you know anything about this. The war that lasted for more than a year has finally ended. The Evernight Goddess clinched victory in the end, and the God of Combat had perished. I believe that with your level and status, you should know what this means. No matter what, the long-awaited peace has finally arrived. People are gradually returning to their normal lives. This is a scene that I like to see, but some wounds may never heal. Man, I don't know how I feel that the whole war ended just like that. I was really hoping we'd like get in there like at the front lines for like a good volume or so, but it's okay. I don't know if the apocalypse will arrive on time, and I don't know when you'll wake up. I can only hope that everything heading in the right direction. Finally, let me mention something trivial. I've already advanced to sequence 2 and am now a miracle invoker. This is both a curse and hope. I wish you well, your eternal student, Klein Moretti. After he finished writing, Klein examined it carefully. Before folding the letter, he blew a Zig's copper whistle and summoned the bone messenger. When a gigantic messenger emerged from the ground, its bones trembled as though it had sensed the aura of the great ruler above the spur world. Oh, now it's scared of him? Klein took it softly and handed the letter to the messenger, whose number was unknown. He watched in clumsy bow before disintegrating into a fountain and burrowing into the ground. After doing this, Klein cast his gaze at the magic mirror on his thigh. Sensing his gaze, the aqueous light on the surface of the mirror rippled and produced silver words. Great master, where are we going next? Where to next? Klein repeated the question inwardly. He really wanted to teleport to the main peak of the Hornicus mountain range and enter the ancient palace that bordered reality and Foggy Town. He wanted to see if he had the chance to take away the most useful card of blasphemy from the Antigonus family's half. Oh shit! Wait. We left the card of blasphemy in Foggy Town. Oh, duh! It's right there on the table. Duh! I remember now. It clicked. Sorry. I was like, how does this piece together now? I remember. The card of blasphemy was on the seat. That has been referenced since like volume 1. It's been right there. It's been there this whole time. I remember now. Card of blasphemy from the Antigonus family's half full, with the present strength being equivalent to the half a sequence 1. This wasn't an impossible task. Back when Zaratul was sequence 2, not in Foggy Town, on the it's on the throne, right? It's on the seat. Like they left it on the seat. Wasn't that where it was? In Hornicus? Oh, not in. Okay, thank you, Cammy. Not in Foggy Town, but on the peak of Hornicus. Thank you. He had managed to obtain the main ingredient of the attendant mysteries from the half full. Of course, the premise was the Evernight goddess maintained the suppression of the seal of the Antigonus ancestors. Hence, he had gone full circle, circling back to deal with the Evernight goddess. The present me, as the owner of Sephra Castle, I can split a portion of the worm's spirit to stay above the great fog, constantly responding to any prayers. This way, apart from having a certain latent problem to my mental state, I'll gain quite a bit of benefits in other aspects. Yes, I can help my main body at any time, giving me another resurrection method. Even if my main body is completely destroyed with the worms of spirit above the great fog, I can still reassemble my will and body. However, if I were to walk in the real world and to get concealed and also end up having my connection with Sephra Castle severed, the worms of spirit less than Sephra Castle will lose control. Oh, because they have nothing to reference. They would lose control and turn into monsters just like Zaratul from back then. Klein quickly analyzed the situation. With his current strength, he felt that it was best if he didn't venture deep into Cauldron City for the time being. Even if he were to search for clues regarding the River of the Eternal Darkness, he would have to fulfill many wishes and obtain the true strengths of a miracle invoker. With this in mind, Klein patted the mirror and said with a smile, "Next, let's go wander together. Where do you want to go?" Trier, "No, and you can go wherever you want," Arrodes replied humbly. Klein smiled and jumped off the carriage, heading towards the city closest to him. After the carriage continued for several meters, it disappeared inch by inch and returned to the fog of history. At the same time, Klein's trench coat turned into a black robe. His top hat changed into shape, giving off a classic vibe. This made Klein feel like a wandering machine, walking through the streets and alleys in a rather intact house in Backland. Dressed in holy white robes, the beautiful demoness of unaging Katerina put down the mirror in her hand and turned her head to the young man who was rocking in a reclining chair. "The war is over. They finally decided to summon me back to headquarters. I've been waiting for this day for too long." The young man sitting on a reclining chair scoffed. He was wearing a long black robe with red patterns. He had a pale white brown skinned face with a soft outline. He was a gatekeeper possessed by the red angel evil spirit. Katerina pressed down on the table with both hands and sat on it. The corners of her lips curled up and said, "You don't seem testy at all. When you get locked on the ground with two detestable fellows for nearly 2,000 years without being able to escape, you will know that 2 years of waiting is extremely easy and relaxing. I'm not in a rush at all," the red angel evil spirit said with a chuckle. "After this matter ends, I'll let you experience it. Of course, I'll remember to throw you 2 male companions. As for how long you can last, it's up to you to decide if you can hold yourself back." Oh. As he said this, the red angel evil spirit's 2 cheeks didn't reveal any retorting mouths. This is because to them, this was the truth. They and the two other detestable fellows had been locked underground for nearly 2,000 years without any means of escape. Upon hearing the answer, Katerina's eyes darted around and asked with a faint smile, "Aren't you worried that the Primordial would learn of this once you head to our headquarters? So what? There's always a need to take risks and daunting things. Furthermore, the worst outcome is to fuse with her. I'm already 3-1, so becoming 4-1 isn't a problem," Sauron Einhorn Medici said with a nonchalant attitude. Wait, hold up. Full disclaimer. Music change the end of chapter version. Thank you, Cammy. Full disclaimer. I did see a cover art for COI pop up on my Twitter feed, and it involved one of these characters that may or may not have red hair. That's all I know, though. So far, that's all I know in COI, and so the word Ouroboros gets mentioned, and a very specific figure with red hair is on a COI cover. Those are the only two things I know now of COI. So, full disclaimer. Let's set off. Katerina hopped off the table with a smile. Just as she finished speaking, a red-haired man with a trademark imprint on his forehead was reflected in her eyes. The gatekeeper, who wore a black-red patterned robe, stopped breathing. His skin was flesh rapidly rotting, turning into yellow-green pus. In just a few seconds, there was only a white skeleton and the Beyonder characteristics left on the reclining chair. Katerina waved her hand, pulling the Beyonder characteristics over by using invisible threads. It fell into her palm immediately after when you read at the edge of the room, immediately after she lost all corporealness and suddenly entered the mirror she had used before. A dark and illusory path that had appeared surreal presented itself in front of the Saint of the Whites. It formed a complicated and mysterious web with similar objects in her surroundings interweaving into a strange world that was different from reality. Katerina quickly traversed the mirror world and approached the target node. At that moment, she felt a powerhouse suction force. She couldn't help but deviate from the path and cast a dark and blurry fog. It represented a mirror in the real world. In an instant, Katerina, along with a red angel evil spirit, left the mirror and came to an unfamiliar room covered in carpets. At the edge, right here? At the edge of the room. Yes, and also that. And then the only other thing we know now, circumvallability is referencing a great old one, right? When they were mentioning all the names, oh, we're playing this already? All right, here we go. Let's gotta put the volume up because even I said it was too low when I went back and listened to my stream. All right, let's put this bitch up, man. You guys ready? Here we go. At the edge of the... So there's only 3 things I know now when speaking of COI. At the edge of the room, a young man... Luckily, it's only those 3 things and not 3 more serious things. But at the edge of the room, a young man... At the edge of the room, a young man with ordinary facial features who was dressed in common clothes leaned against the staircase railing and smiled at the demoness of white. His left hand was constantly tossing items, a strange crown covering in rust and blood. Before Katerina could react, the young man took out a crystal... Oh shit, it's fucking him on. Before Katerina could react, the young man took out a crystal molecule and put it on his left eye. The red angel evil spirit sneered, echoed in Katerina's mind. The next second, the young man took off the molecule and shifted it to his right eye before saying with a smile, "Sorry, I wore..." Oh shit. Oh no, it's Klein. It's Klein. This little bitch. All of a sudden, when he becomes an angel, he gets a little cocky. "Sorry, I wore it in the wrong spot." That's so funny. Oh shit, this is it. Oh wait, this is his new persona. Guys. Are you guys ready? The Wandering Magician. Oh, King of Rage Bait. It's Amon that did the same thing as Klein. That's why Medici laughed at first. What? Really? Wait, just to fucking get this straight. Wait, was Amon acting as Klein acting as Amon? Is that what it was? Amon was acting as Klein pretending to be him. Oh, that's actually smart. Wait, because then if they think he's Klein, they're like, then wow. What a little bitch. He still has the first blasphemy slay and he has to pretend to be an angel? Oh, Amon is pretending to only be a sequence 2 dude? Get out of here. Who is this dude? Who is this schmuck? And I'm sorry, wait, I'm not dissing Amon. I think Easy would understand if he read the notes. Nothing to do with this. All right, we're gonna read the notes. We're gonna read the notes. We will. I will read the notes tomorrow. How about that? All right, let's go. No. The King of Lies? No, man. With Moving Church, shit was fire. Yo, oh, hell yeah. I'm so pumped to watch Chainsaw Man. Chapter 1276 is called Wandering Magician. So I assume this is his new persona. Upon seeing the scene, Katrina's body took a step back uncontrollably as her mind fell silent. 2 seconds later, she opened her mouth and let out a male voice. Wait, Katrina let out a male voice? Hey, little raven. Whoa. Without waiting for the young man to respond, Katrina responded and said, aren't you looking down on me by bringing just a few avatars? Could it be that you're a mailman? Specifically here to deliver me Beyonder ingredients. Could it be that... Wait, I was about to hit a time loop. Tell me, what kind of cooperation do you want? I don't hate you too much. After all, what happened back then was planned by the Zealot. The mastermind was at least a tutor, and you can only be considered an accomplice, so we're chill. So it's all good? It's all good? It's all good under hood? You can only be considered an accomplice. The man opposed him, caught the crown that was covering in the rust and blood. He straightened up and shook his head with a smile. I have my reservations in cooperating with you after hearing your voice. Why don't you get Sauron and Einhorn to talk to me? Tisk, tisk. It's been so many years, yet you're still as willful as a child. Do you still remember who was responsible for carrying you when you were... Wait, what? It's been so many years, yet you're still as willful as a child. Do you still remember who was responsible for carrying you when you were still a baby? Who was the one who burned away your hair? The Red Angel Evil Spirit mocked without any compromises. The young man opposite him used his empty hand to straighten his monocle and calmly turned around before walking out the door without any hesitation. Praise the babysitter. During this process, he sighed softly. Childish. Seeing that Amon had no interaction stopping the Red Angel, fell silent for a few seconds before the other party walked out of the route. Nanny Medici? Is that his new nickname? Nanny Medici? Username, your protest will be stopped soon. Hey, I like the 6ix9ine, man. Amen, brother. Seeing that Amon... Dude, unknown man? Holy shit, man. Thank you, guys. Seeing that Amon had no intention of stopping the Red Angel, fell silent for a few seconds before the other party walked out of the room. It controlled Katrina's body and chuckled. Don't you think that I don't know what you want to do, but it doesn't matter. Since you have the same thoughts as the Zealot, when it comes to making the Lord whole again, then there's room for cooperation. Amon stopped and turned halfway to look at the demoness of White Katrina, who was possessed by the Red Angel Evil Spirit. The monocule on his right eye seemed to glimmer slightly. Oh, it's glowing. Awa County, in the city that was rebuilt after the war inside a bar which had burn marks. Toby... Who the fuck is Toby? Nuh-uh. Toby, did you add too much damned water to your beer? A man wearing an old cap took the cup and took a sip. He couldn't help but complain. The boss, who doubled up as a bartender, wiped his cup and snorted. Do you still remember the alcohol ban from before? Oleg, you should be thankful that you even have alcohol to drink. The blurry man, who was named Oleg, murmured a few words before he focused on drinking his beer. Beside him was a bronze-skinned man with rolled up sleeves. He looked up and surveyed the area. I heard the alcohol ban will soon be lifted because Faina Potter's food will soon be sent over. Also, Basic and Intis will pay reparations with plenty of food. I could only say that I hope so. May the Lord watch over us. The bar owner, Toby, who had just responded when he heard the door open. He looked up and saw a young man who seemed to be a fucking shit at his kind, who seemed to be a wandering magician, walk in. The man was wearing a long black robe and a classic top hat. He walked to the bar counter and sat on a high stool. A cup of South Vile beer. Is this his persona? I think he had long hair. I'm pretty sure he had long hair. My man looked like a cowboy dude with a long hair. Oh, shit. A cup of Salval beer. The man placed several copper pences on the counter. The blurry man named Oleg turned his head to look at the stranger and asked curiously, not from around here, a magician. Oh, shit. The young man, who didn't have any outstanding features, laughed and said, yes, the magic that I'm best at is to satisfy the wishes of people. Fuckish. Let's go, dude. Oh, no more replays? Okay, Oleg immediately whistled. What did I hear? To satisfy the wishes of people. Lord, there's the fellow pretending to be a deity here. The teasing caused everyone to burst into laughter. The young man, who claimed to be a magician, wasn't angry. He smiled and said, that's just a special magic trick. Oleg gulped down a mouthful of bland beer and laughed. Then fulfill my wish and let this stingy boss treat me to a glass of beer. Here you go, brother. All right, the young man in the black robe raised his right hand and tapped lightly on the table. I feel like I'm gonna go pop open a beer right now for you guys, just to drink this on stream with you. With the glass slamming onto the counter loudly, the bar owner poured a glass of beer and pushed it in front of Oleg. Then he retracted his hands and repeated his glass wiping. This scene that seemed familiar to him stunned Oleg. He shouted blankly, "Toby, you know him." No, the boss Toby glanced at Oleg like he was a fool. Oleg raised the glass of beer with uncertainty and took a careful sip to see if Toby would make him pay for it. Seeing that the bar owner no longer bothered with him, the blurry man turned his head in surprise and looked at the young man in a black robe and a tall hat. "How did you do it? I told you that it's a special magic trick." The young man leisurely drank a mouthful of Salvio beer. Oh, shit. Come on, man. You know who I know. This has to be Hermes. This is Hermes. I know when we announced, like when Tencent and everybody else announced, like Billy, they announced like their 10-year project. I vividly remember seeing clients' personas, and then I think I read the name Hermes. I'm pretty sure. How did you do it? I told you that it's a special magic trick. The young man leisurely drank a mouthful of Salvavir. While Oleg remained in shock, the man beside him was rolled up his sleeves, sneered. "I dare bet that you and Toby must have colluded beforehand. You knocking on the table is to say that you'll pay for the beer." Ah, that'd be a good trick. "You can make another wish," the wandering magician replied nonchalantly. "My brother and I have a house that collapsed during one of the bombings and is being rebuilt. My wish is that it will return to its original state before I return." The man, no way he can do that. The man with his sleeves rolled up and said smugly, "That wasn't an easy task." The wandering magician raised his right hand and snapped his fingers before smiling. "All right, your wish has been granted. Shut the fuck up." The people who were paying attention to this broke out into laughter. They no longer paid attention to the foreigner. Oh, this is so fucking cool. This is already my favorite persona. Just granting wishes. They no longer paid attention to the foreigner and his clumsy magic show. After drinking, the man with his sleeves rolled up and left the bar in a drunken stupor with Oleg and staggered down to the street towards the suburbs. 15 minutes later, they returned to the area where they were rebuilding their home. They were about to enter the tent that was issued by the government. At this moment, a gust of cold wind blew and made them shudder at the same time. Soon after, a two-story building appeared before their eyes. It was a house that they were very familiar with and had spent years of savings to build. Oh, I'm about to cry. That's beautiful. He literally bought their house back. Oleg and his brother subconsciously turned their heads and saw the same confusion in each other's eyes. "I didn't drink that much. That damn Toby mixed so much water into the beer," Oleg murmured as if he was seeing things thanks to his intoxication. His brother didn't respond. After being stunned for a few seconds, he suddenly went on his stride and rushed to the house, touching the wall to the door. It's real. He kept muttering to himself as if he had gone crazy. Oleg did the same thing. Finally, he confirmed that their house had been restored to its original state. This made him both surprised and scared. At this moment, his brother suddenly said, "My wish was granted. That magician. Before he finished the sentence, he turned around and ran towards the bar. Oleg came to his senses and followed closely behind. Bang. What? Oh, I was going to say, "What's your name?" They pushed open the door and rushed in, casting their gaze at the bar counter. However, the black-robed and tall-wearing wandering magician had already left. What was his name? Hermes. Oleg and his brother looked around. They appeared relieved, but they also felt like they had lost something. In the square of the city, the young wandering magician was squatting in front of a 10-year-old girl. "My magic is to fulfill your wish." He turned his head and glanced at the nearby Evernight Cathedral. The little girl had turned out from the Evernight Mass, seemingly preferring the empty square. After some thought, she looked at the gentle Mr. Magician and said, "My wish..." Oh, man. No, I'm about to cry. "My wish is for my father, uncle, my brother come back to life. I don't want their beverment money." The wandering magician didn't respond as he gazed deeply at the little girl in front of him, but the girl pursed her lips and forced a smile. "I was just joking. Mommy said that such a wish is not something even evil." Oh, this is sad. Easy, my cry. I think I am crying, dude. I was just fucking... Hermes is in the chat. Oh shit, he's right here. Merlin Hermes, it's you. Is that you, man? Pain, is that you? "I was just joking. Mommy said that such a wish is not something even the deities can grant." As she spoke, she lowered her head and looked at her toes. "I just wish Daddy..." Oh man, I'm about to cry. "I just want Daddy to hug me again." Before she could finish speaking, she suddenly realized that there was a shadow in front of her. She quickly raised her head and looked to the side. Why am I crying? Standing there was a lone soldier dressed in a red shirt and white pants. He didn't hold a rifle and was wearing a hearty smile on his face. He crouched down and spread open his arms like always. "Daddy," the little girl pounced forward and threw herself into the warm embrace. "I miss you." Oh, I'm crying. I missed you so much. At that moment, the young magician passed down his hat, straightening himself, and walked towards the entrance of the square. Amidst that night breeze, his long black robe swayed gently in the vast plaza. Bro, peacefully protest now. And the blink of an eye, it was Monday. In the ancient palace above the great fog, the members of the Terror Club appeared simultaneously and greeted Mr. Fool in unison. Klein looked around and suddenly felt emotional. The Hanged Man is currently a cardinal of the Church of the Stars, and he's in charge of the Roster Archipelago Diocese. Although Justice had temporarily lost contact with the psychology alchemist, she had the right to become one of their counselors. I'm sorry, she became a counselor? The sun is an elder of the 6-member council of the City of Silvers. The moon is a sanguine earl. The star is a high-ranking deck on the Church of the Evernights Nighthawks. The hermit is a hidden queen at sea, one of the 10 pillars of the Moses ascetic order. Apart from the magician and judgment, the other members of the Terror Club are all demigods. Sorry, who's left? Magician and judgment. Okay, only 2. The other members of the Terror Club are all demigods. There are all the upper echelons of different factions in the mysterious world. And with the support of the Abraham family, the magician has a high chance of advancing to Sequence 4 Secret Sorcerer within the year. In other words, Judgment is the one who has the hardest time improving her strength. She is the only one of the upper echelons of MI9, so it's extremely difficult for her to become a demigod. Klein, who was shrouded in grayish-white fog, quickly retracted his gaze and laughed, self-deprecating in his heart. It's finally like a high-end secret organization. It just took a damn 1,000 chapters, but we made it, dude. It's finally like a high-end secret organization. However, it always gives me the feeling that this is some conference between the various factions. He then nodded at the Terror Club members and said, "Let's begin." Oh shit, man. This is hype. A qualitative change, okay? Let's keep reading, man. Chapter 1277 is called A Qualitative Change. Upon hearing Mr. Fool's words, Alder's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly felt that feeling he had when praying to the Lords of Storms on Pazu Island. When he greeted the Fool, he didn't notice any changes in him. Everything seemed to be the same as before, but at the moment, he believed that Mr. Fool was different from before. This was something at the spiritual level, one that Alder wasn't able to describe accurately with words. He only felt the body that was more enveloped by the grayish-white fog contained a terror that was tens of thousands of times more terrifying than before. A simple sentence or simple action could suppress a person's natural order. Mr. Fool has awoken further. After the world went to the forsaken lands of the gods and brought out the City of Silver, Mr. Fool went one step further in his awakening. He already has the level of a Sequence 0. If it wasn't for the fact that the Sailor Pathway is sensitive to the level of a high-ranking person, I wouldn't have even noticed it. Olga wanted to say something, but he forgot what he was about to say. Leonard surveyed the area and saw that the other members remained silent. He probed according to the information we have gathered. There was indeed a battle of the gods. The participants that have confirmed to appear at a high above backland included the Evernight Goddess, God of Combat, and the Earth Mother. As for the outcome, I believe that everyone knows it very well. What are your thoughts on this? During the Tarot gathering last week, Leonard had already mentioned the corresponding matters and had taken the initiative to ask Mr. Fool what had happened. Unfortunately, Mr. Fool only told him that he was recently paying attention to the Forsaken Lands of the Gods and didn't give a direct answer. I can't understand why such an outcome would occur. Earth Mother and the God of Combat should have collectively defeated the Evernight Goddess as a mother-son duo. Catleya didn't conceal her puzzlement. Olga retracted his thoughts and said, after some deliberation, I received the report. Just as the war ended, Fane and Potter changed sides. This means Audrey vaguely grasped something. At that moment, Derek remembered the lady across him and raised his arm. I roughly know why. You, Emlyn, uttered a voice of the trust. After all, the son had previously been isolated in the forsaken lands of the gods, so his understanding of the outside world was all thanks to the other members of the Terror Club. How could he know more about the details of the Battle of Gods than everyone present? Olger, who knew that the son had always been honest, suppressed his curiosity and excitement from the bottom of his heart and asked in a deep voice, why? Derek looked around and calmly said, you have to promise me, Mr. Fool, as a witness, that you have to reveal what I am about to tell you. No problem, Catleya took the lead. After everyone made a promise to the Fool, Derek nodded. Earth Mother isn't the giant queen Omobella. The real Omobella has long died. Her remains are in the City of Silver. This news was like a bomb that landed in the hearts of all the other members. It created a massive upheaval that threatened to destroy their minds. For a moment, Olger, Audrey, and company were unable to say words. It was as though they had been struck by the lightning. They were all paralyzed in their positions like statues. After a while, Leonard asked in disbelief, are you sure? As soon as he said that, he began regretting his question. Since the city of Silver had the remains of the giant queen's Omobella, it means that the whole matter was highly credible. Subconsciously, Audrey, Forrest, and Shield cast their gaze at the figure at the end of the long model table. They discovered that there was a smile in Mr. Fool's eyes as he maintained the sitting posture without any changes. This indirectly means that he is in agreement with the information that little son just provided. Before the son could answer the star's question, Audrey nodded indiscriminately and said, "This can explain many things, but if Earth Mother isn't the giant queen, then why would Angel of Fate Ouroboros believe that she is Omobella? Why does the god of combat want to work with her? Who is she?" Upon hearing Mistress's series of questions, Oliver suddenly felt a little emotional. The topic of discussion amongst the Terror Club has finally raised for the kings of angels to the true deities. Previously, although they stopped the descent of evil gods and had communicated knowledge of secret histories, they have rarely directly discussed the true deities. This was a conscious fear, a deep mark left in them due to their upbringing in the present world. And now the members of the Terror Club had unknowingly lost their reverence that came from the depths of their souls. Cattleya didn't notice this as she focused on Mistress's questions. She said thoughtfully, "Perhaps the Earth Mother has always been disguising herself as Omobella. This managed to fool the Angel of Fate as well as the God of Combat. How is that possible?" That's what I want to know. Like, how is I like, well, I mean, we heard, right, like with Evernight and like with her powers of concealment, right? How is that possible? Sheila instantly muttered. Forrest took a deep breath before, like, that long though. Forrest took a deep breath and said, "What a horror story." At that moment, the world, who had been silent all this time, said, "Nothing is impossible. What if this cover-up has the assistance of the Evernight Goddess and the other true deities?" A conspiracy that lasted for 2,000 to 3,000 years. Alder's eyes froze as he instinctively shrank back. He had an instinctual fear of the Evernight Goddess and Earth Mother that stemmed from his soul. The Terror Club members fell silent once again until Leonard repeated Mistress's final question. "Who exactly is Earth Mother?" As he spoke, he looked at the world inclined Moretti and attempted to get an answer from his former colleague. At this moment, they heard a long-awaited knock. It was Mr. Fool knocking on the table. Audrey and company perked up and turned to the end of the long bronze table, waiting respectfully for Mr. Fool's answer. The Fool Clan chuckled and said, "I can give you some hints." He looked around and continued, "Why does the Church of Earth Mother like to turn to the Sanguine into believers? The Earth and the Moon are two neighboring pathways. Legend has it that during the Second Epoch, the ancient god Lilith, who represented the moon, died because of the Giant King's betrayal. She occasionally responds to the Sanguine's prayers as though she hasn't completely perished." After the 4 prompts, all the Terror Club members, including the Moon Emlyn, thought of an answer. Earth Mother's true identity is Sanguine ancestor Lilith. That's cool. Emlyn's eyes, what I do like is like everybody's title. I don't know, like, it's so fucking cool, dude. Emlyn's eyes widened as he instinctively sat up straight. His mind was a mess and all sorts of ideas ran through his mind. Leonard was first astonished before he muttered in thought. After a few days, the Church of the Evernight stopped promoting the title of the Lady of Crimson and changed the prayer star from the Crimson Moon to that of Stars. As a high-ranking Nighthawk Decon, he was qualified to read the corresponding documents. The Evernight Goddess used the authority of the Moon Domain as a bargaining chip. Cattleya said that this conclusion had lingered in everyone's heart. At this moment, they no longer had any doubts about the true identity of Earth Mother. "Thank you for your hints." Audrey immediately bowed to Mr. Fool. After the others expressed their gratitude, they looked at the Moon Emlyn, who was still looking stupefied. "Mother Goddess is the ancestor is Mother Goddess, so I've never changed my faith. It's no wonder I still continue going to the Harvest Church even without Father's corresponding psychological cues. That's because my intuition told me that the Mother Goddess is the ancestor." That's cool, dude. "Therefore, the ancestor has favored me and made me the savior of the Sanguine." Thoughts flashed through Emlyn's mind as he found a reasonable explanation for the guilt he had previously felt. He began to believe that he was the most devoted Sanguine. Glancing at the Earl, Forrest smiled with interest. "Mr. Moon, perhaps you might become the Archbishop of the Church of the Earth Mother after some time." "No, it should be the sole Sanguine representative of the Church of the Earth Mother." This writer immediately came up with a nickname. Why? Emlyn asked in puzzlement. He believed that the ancestor would also allow the Sanguine to maintain this former state and not to merge with the Church of Earth Mother directly. Leonard smiled and said, "Since the Evernight Goddess doesn't have the title of Lady Crimson, Earth Mother will soon have a similar honorific name. It's impossible to fool the other churches." Emlyn roughly understood what the upper echelons of the Church of Evernight were thinking. He nodded slightly and began imagining a series of scenes. His kinsman, who had previously mocked him for believing in Earth Mother, would queue up in front of him and accept his baptism. With this in mind, Emlyn's mood turned extremely happy as he couldn't help but raise his chin. After the exchange, the members of the Terror Club fell silent for a moment, not knowing what to say. After a few seconds, Olga broke the silence and calmly said, most of the members of the demigods, so that the time it would take to advance will lengthen. Furthermore, we have our own factions. We might need a few years before having a single chance of attaining beyond our characteristics, potion formulas, and sealed artifacts. The focus of the gathering now might switch to exchanging information and engaging in secret operations. Audrey, Katlia, Leonard, and company nodded in agreement. At this moment, the fool surveyed the area and chuckled. With the matter regarding the Forsaken Lands of the Gods over, just like that, my condition has recovered quite a bit. You can exchange items of higher levels for me. He pretended to be calm and reveal the truth that he was recovering. Oh, look at that. You know what? Wait, hold up. Everybody always assumed he was recovering, but now he's like revealing the truth. He pretended to be calm and reveal the truth that he was recovering. This was an answer ancestor. I keep saying ancestor. This was an answer that every member of the Terror Club had long guessed. Just as Audrey and company were guessing which level Mr. Fool had awakened into, Klein smiled and then added, those items of the higher levels include the Sea God's identity, level, and strength. Shh, you good? Damn, not only that, next month will be November. I think we're finishing LOTM in November, dude. I'm feeling confident, man. How many chapters do we have left? Like, we're either finishing LOTM late November or early December, dude. It's gonna be good. I forgot to hit record. I gotta hit record. I almost forgot to hit record. I'm liking where this is going. Yeah, no, Romero's been gone for a while. He's been gone for a while. It breaks my heart. I haven't seen him in a cool minute. I feel kind of sad that I haven't seen him in a while. But dude, I am excited, man. I am excited for these new fucking persona. I saw him earlier. Merlin, I see you, Merlin Hermes. Yeah, either you're the old Merlin Hermes or you're the new persona. It's one or the other. That being said, I'm already loving this new fucking persona for Klein, where he just go around and just grant wishes. I can't believe I got a little tear today. I didn't think I was gonna cry. That being said, I am gonna let you guys go. I have a slight headache, and now I'm getting a slight tummy ache. So I'm gonna let you guys go. We'll be back tomorrow for the author notes, and if we have time, we'll read like 5 chapters of LOTM. If not, we're probably gonna have to save it for the weekend. Ooh, not Saturday. Maybe Saturday. Maybe Saturday morning, not Saturday evening, but Saturday morning. So don't worry. We'll be reading Friday. We'll be reading Saturday morning, and we should be reading Sunday morning. That being said, peace, and have an amazing, beautiful day. Later, guys. New arc starts soon. I'm excited, man.